Hello friends, welcome back to this channel. Today here I am going to deliver a tutorial on flow cytometry. But before that, please subscribe my channel. In flow cytometry, any kind of cell or mixture of cells flows with fluid inside a nozzle. This nozzle allows to pass one cell at a time through the laser light. In cytometry, cyto means cell, metry means measurement. The mixture of cells are labeled with different kind of fluorescent antibodies specific to the antigens present on the cell surface. When they pass through the laser light, it shows the shape of the cells, size of the cells, and the granules present inside the cells like nucleus and other things. And the cell fluoresces according to their antigen that are present on the cell surface. So the cells are separated on the basis of their fluorescent antibodies. So this is the principle of flow cytometry. Flow cytometry is majorly used with the leukemia typing or the diagnosis of leukemia. Leukemia is an uncontrolled proliferation of cells. They are irregular in division or differentiation and show different stages of maturation. So the different kind of leukemia are there like acute or chronic. Using flow cytometry, different monoclonal antibodies are used that are specific for the different antigens present on the cells at the different stages of the leukemia. So this flow cytometry is very beneficial or majorly used with leukemia typing and other kinds of cell separation techniques. So let's begin. Now the definition and principle of flow cytometry. Flow cytometry is a technique used to detect and measure the physical and chemical characteristics of a population of cells and particles. Physical characteristics of cells like number of cells, shape of the cells, size of the cells, and the granules present inside the cells like nucleus and other things. Chemical characteristics like antigens present on the cell surface. In leukemia typing or leukemia diagnosis, there are cells present in with the different maturation stages. So we have to detect which kind of or which maturation stage of cancer is there. So different or specific monoclonal antibodies are used that bind with the specific antigen of that maturation stage. So it can detect the chemical characteristic of population. Now the principle. In this process, a sample containing cells or particles is suspended in a fluid. That fluid carries the cells that flows with the cells. And this fluid with cells is injected into flow cytometer instrument. When it is injected inside the flow cytometry, there is a sheath fluid that surrounds the sample fluid. It does not interact with the sample fluid. Sheath fluid is a phosphate buffered saline solution. Phosphate buffered saline solution or PBS. It flows around the sample fluid. It gives a force, sheath fluid gives a force to sample fluid that it allows one cell at a time to pass through the nozzle or one cell pass through the laser light one at a time. So this is also called as hydrodynamic focusing. The sample is focused to ideally flow one cell at a time through the laser beam. This is called as hydrodynamic focusing, where the light scattered is characteristic to the cells and their components like number of cells, type of the cells, shape of the cells, and the size of the cells, the granules present inside the cells. They show the characteristic of the cells. The cells are often labeled with fluorescent markers. Fluorochrome having a characteristics that it absorbs laser light and it excites it excites and whenever it comes back it gives a higher wavelength that are recorded and it shows on the computer. 10 of thousands of cells can be quickly examined and data gathered are processed by computer. This is the diagram of a flow cytometry instrument. Flow cytometry instrument includes three parts. First one is the fluidic system that include sample fluid and the sheath fluid. Second one is the optics system. It includes dichroic mirror, different kinds of filters and the photomultiplier tube. It is a sensor or detector. And third one is the electronic system that converts analog signal into digital signal and it is recorded on a computer. First one is the fluidic system. Sample is loaded with a fluid inside a nozzle. Sample fluid is surrounded by sheath fluid. Sheath fluid gives it a force that it allows to pass one cell at a time through the nozzle or laser light. This is fluidic system. Second one is the optics. Optics includes dichroic mirrors and filters. These dichroic mirrors and filters are used because many fluorochromes are used to detect the cells. So different kinds of wavelengths are emitted. If it is not filtered, they may overlap. So dichroic mirror and the filters are used to pass filters or to select specific bands. Optic filters are designed as band pass, long pass or short pass that gives or filter the specific wavelength of light, and it is detected by the photomultiplier tube or detector or sensor. After that, this light or this sensor gives a signal to the electronic system and it amplifies the signal. An electronic system converts analog signal into digital signal and it is recorded on the computer. This is the detailed diagrammatic presentation of fluidic system or hydrodynamic focusing that I have already told you. Sheath fluid or PBS, that is phosphate buffered saline solution, is injected in the nozzle, and from here sample mixed with fluid is injected here. Sample fluid is surrounded by the sheath fluid. It gives force to the sample fluid that it will arrange one cell at a time will pass through the nozzle or the laser light. Samples are mixed with fluorescent antibodies. When it will pass through the laser light source, it will emit lights of higher wavelength and it is detected by the sensors. When cells pass through the laser light, two different kinds or other kinds of lights are also scattered. That is also called forward scattered light and the side scattered light. This also detected on the photomultiplier tube. When a cell passes through the laser light, it shows or scatters three kinds of lights. First one is forward scattered light, second one is side scattered light and the fluorescent light. For detecting these light beams, there are different kinds of detectors are used. First detector is used for forward scatter light. Another detector is placed perpendicular to the stream and is used to measure side scatter light. Fluorescent labels are also used to label the cells. So detection of the fluorescent light, different filters are used to pass through or to allow different wavelengths, and it is also detected with fluorescent detectors. Fluorescent light is filtered so each sensor will detect fluorescence only at a specified wavelength. These sensors are all called photomultiplying tube. Photomultiplying tube is a detector or you may call it as sensor. Whenever a cell passes through the incident laser light, it shows three kinds of scattered light. First one is the forward scattered light, side scattered light and the fluorescent light. This is the cell and it is passing through the incident laser light. When it will pass through the incident laser light, it will reflect some light in forward direction. This is called as forward scattered light and it is detected on photomultiplying tube. Forward scattered light shows the cell size, cell shape and the cell volume. As the forward scattered light increases, that means shape of the size or the size of the cell is big. Second one is the side scattered light. There are some granules inside the cells. Some cells is having granules and some cells don't have. So how many granules and the granule complexity is determined by the side scattered light. This is the incident light and it is reflected by the granules of the cells and it is scattered sidewise. So this light is measured at the 90-degree angle to the excitation line and it is called as side scattered light. Filters and photomultiplying tube are placed at the 90-degree angle to the incident light and it detects side scattered light. Side scattered light indicates the cell granularity or the internal complexity of the cell. As the side scattered light increases, that means the internal complexity of cell is much more. The measurement of FSC and SSC are used for differentiation of the cell types in a heterogeneous cell population. In a heterogeneous cell population, different size and shape of the cells are present and they have internal complexity that is also different. So it measures the or it differentiates between the cells of a heterogeneous cell population. This is the dot plot of the FSC and the SSC. I have already told you this one that reflects in the sidewise direction. It shows the side scattered light and it is the inner complexity of the cell, and forward scattered light shows the cell size or shape. This is the dot plot. I will give you one example. This is lymphocyte. Lymphocyte has having very less internal complexity or internal granules. So it will show low SSC. But FSC, it is having the size little much bigger, so it will show the FSC between 100 to 150. Monocytes are bigger than lymphocytes, so it will show FSC much more than lymphocytes and it is having granules inside them, so it will show SSC much above than lymphocyte. This is the example of neutrophils. Neutrophils are bigger than monocytes and lymphocytes, so it will show FSC larger, or that means it is having a large cell size, and SSC is also higher in neutrophils, that means inner complexity is higher in neutrophils. The third light is produced, that is fluorescent light. Fluorescent tags or fluorochromes are used with antibody that binds with the antigens present on the cell surface. There are different kinds of fluorochromes are used like fluorescein, rhodamine and phycoerythrin. Fluorescein produces or emits an intense yellow-green fluorescent light. Phycoerythrin, it is very efficient absorber of light and it shows 30-fold greater than fluorescein and it is very brilliant or good emitter of red fluorescence. So fluorescein and phycoerythrin are the fluorochrome that are used with the fluorescent labeling of antibody. These fluorescent or fluorochromes binds with the Fc region of the antibody because it will not affect the specificity of antibody. So fluorochromes binds with the Fc region of any antibody. Whenever laser light comes to the fluorochromes excites and it goes on higher excitation level. Whenever it comes back to the ground state, it emits the light or photons that are of higher wavelength and it is detected on the photomultiplying tube. There are different kinds of filters are used because different monochromes are used and they are emitting different lights, so there can be an overlap. So filters are used to pass through specific wavelength of the fluorochrome and it is detected on the photomultiplying tube. By adding fluorochromes to these antibodies, it is possible to simultaneously detect multiple antigens on the cell. That I have told you that fluorochrome antibody will bind with the antigen present on the cell and these antigen will show the what kind of cell is this. So therefore detect rare subpopulation of cells and several cell types simultaneously. Light energy is typically derived from monochromatic laser light, which is used to produce predictable excitation of irradiated fluorochrome. Fluorochrome has the property that it will absorb the light and emit higher wavelength of light, followed by subsequent emission of a photon as the excited electron relaxes back to its original ground state. And it emits the photon when it comes back to its ground state, and that is also detected on the detector. The detectors therefore pick up a combination of scattered and fluorescent lights, because three kinds of lights are emitted: forward scattered, side scattered and fluorescent lights. This data is then analyzed by computer. Electronic system is used and amplifier is used that will amplify the signals, and it will convert analog signal into digital signal that are recorded on the computer, and it is attached to the flow cytometry, and it is analyzed inside the computer. It is analyzed using special softwares. The brightness of each detector is adjusted to this detection. Using the light measurement, different information can be gathered about the physical chemical structure of the cell. Generally, FSC can detect cell volume because it will scatter the light in forward direction, whereas side scattered light reflects inner complexity such as cytoplasmic granules and nuclear structure. In flow cytometry, whenever a cell passes through the laser light, a voltage pulse is generated. Fluorochrome is excited by the laser light. It will emit photons, and photon will hit the photomultiplying tube. It is a detector, and photomultiplying tube will convert this into an electrical signal. This electrical signal travels to the amplifier and is converted into a voltage pulse. When cell start entering inside a laser light, voltage pulse is created like that. When it is inside or between the laser light, whole cell passes through the laser beam. So at this point, this is the highest voltage pulse. When cell leaves the laser light, the voltage pulse starts decreasing. For each pulse, height, width and area is measured. The number of or the size of the pulse depends upon the number of photons that are generated through the fluorochrome, and it is detected on the photomultiplying tube. Now the data that is generated on computer, it is represented by two methods. First one is the histograms and the second one is dot plots. Histograms compare single parameter where intensity is plotted on one axis and number of event is plotted on another axis. Dot plots can compare more than one parameter. That I have already told you in previous example, where forward scattered light and side scattered light of different lymphocytes and neutrophils are compared with dot plots. Dot plots compare more than one parameter simultaneously, where each event is displayed as a single point, and the intensity values of 2 or 3 channels are represented on various axes. It may happen that similar intensities cluster together in dot plot, while dot plots can compare multiple parameters together. But histograms compare only one parameter at a time, so it is easier to read and understand histograms. Now the application of flow cytometry. There are various applications of flow cytometry, that is cell suppression, cell identification, cell volume, size of the cell, shape of the cell and the inner complexity of the cells, and the antigens present on the cell surface. So it will tell the maturation stage and the kind of the cell that is present within the fluid. Cell counting, cell sorting, cell viability, apoptosis, cell cycle, cell physiology and immunophenotyping that I have told you in leukemia diagnosis. Nowadays, flow cytometry is used in food microbiology applications like monitoring of food fermentations, physiological characterization of microbes exposed to various food processing related stressors, and rapid detection of pathogens in foods. So this is all about the flow cytometry. I am sure that you understood the concept of flow cytometry very well. Do share this knowledge with your friends and please subscribe my channel. Next time I'll be again available with very interesting topic. Till then, goodbye and take care. Thank you.